Last time on Shadow Piece, everybody started to prepare for the departure of Elbaf. Many conversations still had to take place, foods and beverage had to be bought, and then the time to set sail had come. For two Elbaf giants, that day would also mark a grand change. Iron Maiden Bronya and the girl now known as Gecko the Live have officially joined the Strawhat Pirates, and thus also their family. With a portal set in one of the unused rooms of Bronya's home, they can always return back to the Island of Giants, and Bronya herself is going to do that quite often, as she still wants to take care of the group of orphans that live in her house. They didn't need to have a tear-filled goodbye, but for Liv and the kids it was still a big thing that happened. The small one won't return back to her home island as often as her older sister, so after hugging it out, she went together with the Strawhat Pirates to their island ship. To be completely honest, she expected a relatively small ship. She has seen the vessel of the Red Hair Pirates once before when they were in Elbaf, and that wouldn't be a big enough place for two giants to live on. So seeing the insane size of the Strawhat took her by surprise. It will take her weeks to even explore the entire ship. This will make for an exciting new chapter in her life story. The last thing that happened on this island was the exchange of the Devil Fruit that Hyrene obtained as the winner of the Winter Solstice Festival tournament. It got carefully placed in its own special room on the Strawhat. Nothing besides it was in this room, and just to make it even safer, Moria locked it into a treasure chest to which only he has the key. Whatever secrets this Devil Fruit holds, the Shadow Emperor will find out before he does anything else with it. With the time to leave around the corner, both Maria and the Dark Messiah ordered the new Giant Warrior Pirates something crucial for the future. To support Sanji in the war and make it an even bigger comeback for Gecko Moria, they are tasked with meeting up with the other Fleet of Death members and bring them all to Hachinosu. Once everybody is gathered, it will be an all-out war. If it wasn't for Absalom's connections to the Charlotte husband, Moria wouldn't even consider this an option. He wanted to remain in the shadows for much longer, but this still makes it easy for him to become an official emperor in the future. All he needs to do is defeat Blackbeard after all. The next steps have been laid out in front of them, and now the time has come to go back to the open sea. For some, the days spent on Elbaf were rather uneventful, but for others it shaped them as a person and helped them grow a lot. Once out of the rivers of Elbaf, the blue ocean spreads as far as the eye can see. Bronya has seen it once or twice already, when going out with the other giants to fish for bigger fish or even get the meat of smaller sea kings. Liv, on the other hand, is experiencing the outside world for the very first time. She never felt locked up or anything on Elbaf, but seeing how much more there is to the world, it just makes her smile from cheek to cheek. The adults are discussing complicated things once again, so the little girl decided there is just one right thing to do: looking around the entire island ship. Sneakily, she gets out of the room everybody is in and starts exploring. At the moment, she is inside the masked mansion, a large tower in the middle of the entire Strawhat that actually also works as the mast of the ship, as the name would already imply, and it also has a mansion inside of it. Multiple rooms can be found in this location. Just before, she was in a strategy room, where the crew can discuss their future plans. If it was up to Liv, however, she would redecorate that room a lot to make it more exciting. The first room she enters has a big bed in it, so it has to belong to Maria. Her new sister Perona doesn't need such a big bed, and neither do Brooke and Absalom. She giggles to herself. Maybe I can find something to tease the onion devil about later with. Liv herself is really a little devil, the perfect type of person for the Strawhat family. Maria's room is rather empty. Besides the bed, only a few pictures are spread around. There really is a lot of open space. Multiple recordings of Perona as she grew up, one of them all together, even though the young giant doesn't recognize the second round person next to Maria. Dark hair, blackened glasses, and a full body fishnet, whoever that is a real weirdo. The Shadow Emperor had already recovered to his fit form before meeting Liv, so all of these pictures are also the first time she sees her new adoptive father in his fat, depressed state. Obviously, she doesn't know the background of everything that happened, so it's hard to get a good grasp on the developments of Maria's body. Maybe one day she will also be somewhere in this room, but it's not like she actually wants that or anything. Careless, she pulls out the drawers, spreading the clothes of the Strawhat captain all over the room, creating a mess for somebody else to clean up. In most drawers, nothing of interest could be found, but underneath a lot of socks, Liv discovers another picture. Why was this one not in the open like all the others? In it, she couldn't find any of the Strawhat Pirates, besides a much younger version of Gecko Maria. Actually, he was very thin in this, not muscular, not fat, just really thin. His arms laid around other humans and happily laughing. It was quite an uncommon sight. It is not like he was always sad around her, but in that picture he is much more joyous, and not the serious onion we all know now. There's still a lot that she doesn't know about the people she lives together with now. But slowly, Liv is going to learn everything there is to know about the Strawhat Pirates. However, for now, the island exploration has to continue. Who knows what she might find? She still wants to have a personal hideout besides the room she will get assigned to in the future. Thrilled about this adventure, she runs down the hallway with her arms spread out, acting like she is flying. Quickly, before her three options appear. A door on her right hand side, follow the hallway more, or go on a bridge leading to the outside. And her decision is easily made. Going out of the masked mansion can wait until she has found every single place there is to find in here. Opening the door to the room, she is greeted with a bright flash of pink. It is a very big contrast to everything else she has seen so far on the ship. Unless Brooke or Absalom have these kind of tastes, this is exactly what she expected of Perona's room. A queen-sized bed and countless plushies fill the room. Most prominently, a big teddy bear sits on top of the bed. It is quite the simple room actually, and even though Liv sometimes got called a boy because of her rougher personality, she still has an interest in these things as well. Perhaps she can borrow one or two of the plushies from her sister. In the closet, all kinds of dresses can be found. The young giant instantly thinks about how pretty Perona would look in all of them. She would also like to wear something like these dresses on one day, but right now her mind tells her that it wouldn't fit her character. And the other kids from Elbaf would only tease her for it. The bridge can still wait. After leaving Perona's room, she heads down the hallway even more until she reaches the end of it. A small part of the mansion is on the outside, and it is connected to what seems to be a very big Ferris wheel. Liv has heard stories about these things going around and around, so she wonders if that one actually works or if it is just a decoration for the ship. By herself, she doesn't want to try it out, so it's time to turn back and go down the other direction of the hallway. After all of the running, she passes the strategy room once again, where she notices that the door is now wide open, even though she closed it very carefully, but all the adults are still sitting around the table, so maybe she didn't really close it. Quietly, she goes past them to investigate more of the yet unknown rooms. First comes the kitchen, but that one is not interesting to her. She loves eating, but the process to make the food herself is way too tedious. Absalom and Brooke's rooms are still missing, but they don't seem to be in this building. Besides the kitchen, there are no doors she can get inside. Well, two of them were locked, and she didn't want to break them down. That would only result in problems for her later down the line. So all she could do was continue down the hallway and see for herself what was hidden so far away from every other room. With every step taken, it got colder and colder. At the start of this path, she just thought this was her feeling more and more increasingly nervous because of her active imagination and all of the other things. But as she continued, it became all the more real. Even the walls of the mansion started to show signs of freezing. Why was it so cold in this direction? That question would soon be answered. At the entrance of the room, a sign is placed, just saying danger. But Liv is a brave warrior. A bit of danger is not enough to stop her. Shivering from the freezing temperatures, she goes inside until she reaches a railing and looks at what is in front of her. Brave warrior or not, she slips on her butt in shock. Her eyes are seeing something impossible. A creature even bigger than the largest giant she has ever witnessed so far. Chained down and just standing there, menacingly. Red skin and blonde hair, with limbs that are bigger than her entire body, and horns the size of the trees she has seen on Elbaf. What is this gigantic monster the Strawhat Pirates keep locked up in their freezer? And why does she feel an odd connection towards it? As Liv is about to slowly step out of this room backwards, she knocks into something behind her. Did she misadjust her angle when standing up and bump into a wall? Or what is this? No. When she turns around, she sees Maria standing there, smiling at her. Did she perhaps stumble into a very dangerous place? But that's all from Shadow Piece for today. we are in a very short segment where Liv is going to discover a few of the things of the Thriller Bark Islands. Well, technically the Thriller Bark ship, but you could also call it an island. I mean, it had an entire arc for itself. So yes, there's a lot to discover for the little explorer. But there are also other things going on. The whole thing about Hyrodine and his crew going out into the world trying to meet up with other members of the Fleet of Death to prepare for the big war against Blackbeard. And now also our casual time together with Liv and Bronya and all the other people on the Thriller Bark. We have the very action heavy section and a bit more of a relaxed section. But, well, that's not going to stop us from having a lot of fun with Shadow Piece. But for now, that's all from me for today. All that's left to be said is stay happy, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay cultured. Pyro, out. Bye!